Welcome to Falcons Ledge. I'm Ostringer, and today we are going to be doing an open boxing of the Winwing Skywalker or Winwing Orion pedals. I do have two birds and a new puppy and my dog in here, so I apologize if there's any background noise. My plan is to record a different audio track for you, so we do it nice and professional-like. The next few months is going to be really big around here because we are going to be completely remodeling this room and turning it into a real studio for you guys. And yep, that'll mean no more cement floors, no more feathers everywhere. The birds will be moved out into their own place. And you know, no more recording with dogs and things like that in the room. So I apologize for that in advance. Let's get down to this. It's going to be kind of complicated to get out of there, so I'm going to pull it off the table to do that. All right, we've got this in there, and I believe the rest of this, no, here's some other stuff. Apparently I opened this upside down, so that's my problem. This appears to be a anti-slip mat. Got some more, and we have this thing that came out of there. So yeah, apparently I took it out of there upside down. I guess I didn't look to see if there was a this side up sticker. We'll yeet that box as usual. Okay, so we start out with the USB cable. It's your pretty standard USB cable, so we'll move on. Got some tools. Luckily I have better tools for all of this. We have a damper. Looks to be fairly similar to what many refer to as a motorcycle damper, because there was a damper that is intended for use with motorcycles, that for their steering, that was commonly used for damping other things, joysticks, pedals, etc. This looks a lot like that one. I think it's probably a little bit better. It's got adjustments and whatnot. I do like that they're using spherical rod end for that. Those rod ends are really nice. Toss that in the box. And then it looks like we got some mounting profiles here. And another piece. It's kind of funny. So once I was told, you know, Ostringer, you should really go through and practice these builds before you do them. And I thought about it, and I thought, you know, it might be nice for that to be that way, but really I kind of feel like the raw experience of it all is helpful to people too, as well, because then you see what you might run into, right? So let's just dig into this. Let's figure out what else we have in here. This looks like to be the main unit. Puppy over there thinks that the box is a new toy meant specifically for her. And perhaps in this case it is for the moment. Let's pull this out of the bag. Toss the bag up here so the puppy doesn't get in it. All right. Let's move this aside just for a moment while I get this other stuff out of here. And these should be our pedals. Nice and well packed. I do have to say, Winwing does a good job of packing. These things weren't going anywhere. Our new cameras, got to move those. Yeah, those are getting set up here. We're going to do some filming with them. And I'm excited for that. All right. Let us take a look. We'll get some first impressions on the finish here. As usual, the metal has a nice finish on it, feels really good. Again, I like the spherical rod ends. Those are really, really nice. They're gonna last for a long time. They're gonna be very rugged. You're gonna be able to handle all that you're gonna be able to put through it. Because think about it, these things are meant to be operated with your feet. And you might not realize your legs are pretty darn strong in comparison to the rest of your body. So these things are gonna be taking a lot. I don't know about you guys, but I leg press about 600 pounds, which might seem like a lot, but you have to remember that I almost weighed 600 pounds at one time. And now I go to the gym, and I'm not looking to increase that number. I'll exercise my legs, but they don't need to be any bigger. They're fine. I mainly work on increasing the size of my upper body now. Which, you know, I mean, heck, maybe I'll let you know. I actually reached a bit of a milestone recently. I now bench press more than I've ever bench pressed before. When I was a teenager, I played hockey. It was an intramural team. And I was able to bench press about 225 pounds, which, you know, teenager me thought that was quite a lot. Now I bench press 235. And I'm pretty darn happy about that. So, especially coming from a place where I was in absolutely horrific shape, 550 pounds, I doubt I could bench press 100 pounds 2 years ago. If I did, I'd probably hurt myself. So, yeah, I'm feeling really good. It's been a huge, huge progression for me. I look forward to keep moving with it and continue gaining strength. Mostly just because, you know, feels good. It feels good to get stronger, to feel better, to be able to do more, and I love it. So, and I will keep telling myself that tonight on gym night. So, and to any of you who are doing something similar, you're still hanging on to that New Year's resolution. Starting working out was kind of a New Year's resolution. I'd been planning it for the entire year last year, but it was kind of a New Year's resolution. I started working out a year ago this last January, and I'm still doing it 3 days a week. All right, so these are labeled Skywalker. I was wondering, because I've seen them call them the Orion as well, and so I'm wondering if they're going to keep calling them Skywalker or not. All right, so this is a pretty hefty system here. I like this because it allows you to pull that off. Now, I don't see any additional springs included. We'll see if that's really a big deal or not. And I'm assuming that one advantage to this is if you apply more damping, and you want it to be more helicopter-like, where it's not going to recenter, you pull that spring off, and bam, you've got I think it's locked. Yep, it's locked. Here it is. I'll have to mess with this because, there we are. There. Now, it stays where you put it. So that's cool. Sorry, learning how this thing works as we go. I know a little bit about it. You know, I know I can just look at it and say, okay, well, here's your cam. There's your other cam. But then I noticed that there was a lock here, so that's cool. And it is spring loaded. Magnetic, I think, actually. No, it's spring. It's got a spring in it. And that locks it so you can use it as a, you know, car type thing or whatever, if you want to, but I don't think you're gonna see me using that. These look like they operate the endpoints here. Yep. Those things are going to be adjustments for that. Okay. And then this looks like the pedal axis here on either side. Cables connecting everything, USB. There's where our control board will be. All right. So we should get to assembling these things and go from there. First I got to kind of see how this thing together. Well, that's fairly clear. So we have a large hole in the front. We'll lock this. Okay, we have a large holes in the front, and then back here, we've got a small hole. And so the way that that looks like it works is if we undo this, there is a little shim here, and that needs to remain. And just like usual, I have dropped something and I need to go in and cover it. Have no fear, it didn't go under the construction stuff in here. Alright, so this is the wrong side. We are going to put this through here. And there is a flat spot on this. And if we flip this on its side here, upside down, you can see right here is a screw you take out, and that should fit here. Now, it may need adjustment. So this part here, if you're not familiar with how these joints work, these ball end joints, these can be adjusted by using this nut here, or you actually just screw the whole end out. And when you unscrew these ends, it makes it longer or shorter. So if you, say, install things and one side doesn't have the same angle as the other, you just might need to adjust it here. So there's one side, and there is the brake. Yep, there's the brake axis, and then we'll grab this side. Now I am going to verify. I'm quite positive that it needs to have this washer between here and there. I saw it posted just earlier today about needing to have that little shimmed gap, otherwise this binds. I saw someone post about that. So, and that particular shim is considerably smaller than this nut. Usually when you have a washer, the nut is slightly larger than the washer is slightly larger than the nut that it's intended to work against. So that's my assumption based upon my experience with hardware stuff, mechanics and whatnot. All right, so let us. Oops. Put this through the spherical rod end, and we will pull these together. Now I'll tighten these up a little bit later. I just wanted to get things together, kind of tell you guys what I think about it. Here, we'll switch that up. The axes. You know, I've always wondered about that. Is it axes or axes or whatever? The questions that we come up with for this stuff. So the axis itself feels nice and smooth, provided by these ball bearings here. Now, something of note that I'm looking at here, these ball bearings are open. That is a tad concerning, because these things are meant to be stored on the floor. Yeah, you can see it right here. I'll lift it up and I'll rotate. See the bearings in there? That is what's called the cage. And the cage contains the balls in a ball bearing. Now, typically I would have expected a closed ball bearing or sealed ball bearing there. And that way it would be greased. I assume that there probably is a little bit of grease in there, and the problem with having them open like that is that you might just have dust getting collected in there. I'm wondering if it would be a smart idea to 3D print something to slide over that and reassemble it to avoid the potential for getting stuff in there. Maybe that's something to think about on the long term, but we won't mess with it right now. We have to see how this operates as it is. But the good thing is I don't feel any need right off to grease these bearings. They feel nice and smooth. So let's put our spring back in. And just so you know, the spring is pretty strong, but you would expect a spring to be strong in this case because it is operated by your legs. And that goes the other way. So we'll put that spring back on. Yeah, it is pretty difficult to operate that way. So let's get the rest of this out and see what we need. So here's the mounting pieces here, like so. Right, these are going to be here. We have these two screws, a long one and a short one. I am assuming, let's see, that I am going to really quickly take a look at this. All right, some quick research to make sure I was putting things together properly. And we put this stud here. The hole through it, I'm assuming, is because that they don't have any kind of any kind of place to grab it with a tool. You're just meant to use a Allen wrench that is provided, but I'm using my own, and just snug that up. Right? That one is going to go here. And is going to have this like that. And we can do a quick tightening on this since we know that it's on a ball joint there. Okay. And then we just have to figure out how this is going to go together here. And at first I thought, hey, this hole right here has a hole, is threaded. It must go there. But then I got to look at this, the way that's shaped, that tells me it goes there. And then like so. And this didn't fit. So, and this one is not threaded. So the threading is down below. Okay, so now we've got that in there. We'll tighten it down. Okay, we'll get that nice and snug, and then we'll see what it takes to. All right, there we go. So I'm going to increase the damping. It feels good. Also, you can meet my carpet shark. My pretty carpet shark here, named Sadie. She's the one that's causing all of that ruckus. But she's a little too young to be left running around upstairs, so let's put her with Dad, who did not appreciate that. All right. Oh yeah, That's feeling good. All right, sweet. Well, I'm gonna get this thing finished setting up here, and we'll get it underneath the desk. Give it some flight time.
Alright, so while I've been editing this, I got myself a little bit of the plague. It's just a head cold, but because of that, I'll be short and to the point. The axes felt smooth. They worked really well. The helicopter mode was really useful. I had a good time flying around in the Apache on it, and I hope that you enjoyed this initial impressions. Please subscribe, it really helps me out. Have fun, fly safe, and have a great day.